Welcome back to the Clean My Space channel. My name is Melissa Maker and I am an accidental cleaning expert, which means I hate cleaning, but somehow after all these years, I'm still here on YouTube talking about it. And in this video, I want to help you dust off your dusting skills because dusting isn't taught in school. Most people don't know how to do it professionally or properly. And in fact, if you dust incorrectly, you can waste time and make your cleaning efforts futile. You're gonna have to repeat your work. So I wanna help you learn how to dust properly so that you don't have to waste your time, so that you can dust it, literally. So let's do it. When you dust a surface, keep in mind that dust is like a tiny little slurry of all kinds of things from your fabric, from your skin, from your pets, dirt, and it's just this fine little mist that exists. And if it gets wet, it becomes like a streaky sort of paste that can be hard to clean off, especially if you're cleaning a baseboard or a surface that has a thicker dust. So what this tells us is that when we're dusting, we always want to do it with a dry cloth. The mistake I see people making often is they will spray a cloth and they will use that to dust a surface. And in fact, that is making them work harder because now they've got this streaky slurry they have to get rid of. So remember, dust first, then clean. What I like to teach here on Clean My Space is understanding the PTTs, the products, tools, and techniques to get a job done right. When it comes to dusting, the tools are key. So let's talk about a few of the tools. I sometimes hear people talk about dusting with an old rag or a disposable duster or a super fluffy duster or even just a flat cloth, like something you would use to clean your glasses off. The truth of the matter is this: microfiber is what you want to use for dusting. That is because it has tiny little fibers that pick up dust, and it also holds a bit of an electrostatic charge, which makes dust literally magnetic toward the cloth. So it does a lot of the work for you. If you use a general purpose microfiber cloth, it will dust like nothing else. If you use a cotton cloth or a rag or a cloth diaper or anything like that, that is a linty cloth. It's actually gonna leave lint behind. And if you use a disposable product, well, it was designed to be thrown out. So A, it's not good for the environment, but B, it's not designed with the same type of technology that would go into a reusable product, product, like a microfiber cloth. So when you're picking your cleaning cloth, make sure that it is a general purpose sort of terry weave microfiber cloth. Anything else will make you work harder. When I teach people how to clean, I talk about the 3-wave system. And if you're not familiar with it, I'll put a link for a video teaching you all about this fabulous system in the description box down below. But the order is simple. Tidy in the first wave, do your cleaning in the second wave, and deal with your floors in the third wave. And that is because dust falls down to the floor. And if you vacuum before you do your cleaning and your dusting, you're gonna leave dust behind. Not only that, cleaning, the action of disturbing your surfaces actually kicks dust up. So by the time you're done your cleaning, the dust that you have ostensibly kicked up should have fallen to the ground. I like giving rooms a little bit of time to breathe after I clean, so that way I know the dust has fallen to the ground and then I can vacuum it up and move on. If you vacuum first, you might find that dust resettles quicker, and you might have to redo your work. Now, the only time it's appropriate to vacuum first is if you have a lot of pet hair in a home. In that case, I recommend the old vacuum sandwich, where you vacuum first, do your cleaning second, and then finish off with a vacuum at the end. But that's the only time. Otherwise, vacuum at the very end. Don't take your cleaning advice from an actor. The way that actors use feather dusters is they kind of go like this, because it looks cute and like French maid like. That is not how you use a feather duster. And in fact, I don't like using feather dusters. I think they serve a very limited purpose. I think they're good for certain high dusting applications. They can help get down cobwebs in certain situations. But the problem with them is their plume, their feathers, kind of spread dust everywhere. If you plan on using a feather duster, the technique is to move from one side to the other in quick strokes And when you're done using it, bring your feather duster down as low to the ground as possible, generally to your ankle, and tap it off so that the dust falls right there to the floor. Then you can pick it up and use it again. If you're doing this, you are literally shooting dust all over the room, which will then resettle on other surfaces and make you work harder. I know it can be tempting to see a little area of dust and just walk over to it and give it a quick wipe, but you are wasting your time, because if you have a horizontal surface and there are other things on it, you might as well just remove everything from that surface, dust the surface entirely, dust each item that was on that surface over the floor, and then replace each item. If you just casually do a wipe, it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. And then you're gonna say, gosh, I should have just cleaned the whole shelf. And then you're gonna have to redouble your work. So do it properly, remove everything from the shelf, dust, clean the shelf stuff, put it all back. You're saving time, you're doing it right. Whenever you're dusting, you wanna work with gravity. You wanna start at the top and work your way to the bottom. If you dust something at waist height and then you realize, oh, there's something over there on a shelf that I need to dust, well, now you're gonna dust that item. Dust is gonna fall right back onto that waist height surface, and then you're gonna have to clean that again. There's no use in wasting your time. Always dust from the top to the bottom. If you observe a professional cleaner, you'll notice that they can often clean a lot of surfaces with one cloth, and they're not really being that gross. I'll tell you why. Professional cleaners have a trick whereby they divide their cloth into quarters, or I should say they fold their cloth into quarters, and that gives them 8 cleaning surfaces. Whereas if you're just a regular average guy or gal, you're taking a cloth like this, kind of bundling it up and doing a cleaning, and you're getting a lot of surface area dirty or covered in dust. When you divide it into quarters like this, you're giving yourself 8 surfaces. So when this gets dirty, you flip it over here. Then you can flip your cloth this way and work with that side, and then that side, and then you can flip your cloth in the absolute other direction and start all over again. A microfiber cloth can hold 8 times its weight in water and even more in dust. So that means one cloth like this is going to get you a lot of mileage as long as you use the folding trick. When we clean, we often focus on the areas that we can see the most, which tends to be whatever is at our eye level and slightly downward. The area that we clean the least tends to be the stuff that's high up. So ledges over your doors, crown moldings, light fixtures, corners, tops of cabinets and furniture, etc. Now the issue with that is dust can build up over time. And if a gust of wind blows or there's a fan going, you're gonna get dust falling and raining down in clumps. Not only that, it does lead to indoor air quality issues and an overall sense of stuffiness indoors. So I'm not saying you have to do it all the time, but just pay a little bit more attention to the stuff upstairs. I've run a professional cleaning business since 2006, and we use our clients' vacuum cleaners, which means if they have a malfunctioning or poorly maintained vacuum, it actually means we have to work harder on the dusting side of things. And that's because vacuuming and dusting are very much related. You can't remove all of the dust from a home if the vacuum is not working well. So what does that mean? It means that your vacuum has to be properly maintained, your bin has to be emptied, or your filter bag has to be replaced. Your filters have to be cleaned and maintained if your vacuum has cleanable filters, and you want to make sure that it is sealed properly. And that means that when your vacuum is on, it's actually trapping all of the dirt that it's vacuuming up, and then the air that's coming out the back of the vacuum isn't then blowing dirt back out behind you. I've been in situations before where I flicked on a vacuum and it's actually made the room dirtier because of what spat out. The second thing is we would sometimes have clients who would say, well, I don't need a vacuum, I have hard floor surfaces and I usually sweep, or I just use a flathead microfiber mop that I bought in a store. You know which brand I'm talking about. Now here's the issue with that. Cosmetically speaking, your floors might look okay, but a vacuum's job is to actually remove dust from the atmosphere. When you're sweeping or just doing a quick microfiber pad floor clean, you're not necessarily getting rid of all of the dust in your home. That is a vacuum's job, and that is why I often talk about the importance of having a vacuum with good quality filtration, because that actually removes dust. And if you're doing that on a regular basis, you're not going to have dust quickly resettling. In a home, if you sweep the floor, you'll notice within a little bit of time, dust will resettle on your surfaces, because that's exactly what you're doing with a broom. You're kicking up a bunch of dust, and the small microscopic stuff that you can't sweep up will resettle on your surfaces, meaning more dusting work for you. And now you can write your dissertation on dusting. Now, I've got a question for you, and that is this week's comment question, and it's all about your vacuum and when the last time you cleaned it out was. I mean, a vacuum you would think is a self-cleaning tool. It's not. You actually have to maintain it. I'm thinking about mine, and I haven't done it in a while, so this is a good reminder for me. Let me know when the last time you cleaned yours was in the comments down below. If you want to learn how to clean your vacuum, you can click this button here and check out our video. It'll teach you all about how to do just that. And if you want to support the Clean My Space channel, you can subscribe. That would help. And you can also visit the Makers Clean store. You know all about that, and that is by clicking this button right here. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.